Welcome to an Adhocracy Fedora Friday. Today,
What's Kerning?
it's Kerning.
But it says Kerning.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, I'm JD Melville.
And I'm David Landeen, and welcome to an Adhocracy Fedora Friday, where we do everything but work.
Yeah, we're geeking out, we're talking, we're having fun, we're doing stuff, everything but working.
We're going to change things up today because you're going to learn something, which may seem kind of like work, but it's not. It's learning. It's different.
This is fun learning.
Yeah.
This is learning that's going to have some great jokes, and you're going to recognize things, and you're going to be able to search the internet for these things, and you will be laughing extremely hard.
We hope. Well, the internet always makes you laugh.
Today we're going to introduce the idea of kerning. Well, okay, hold on. That's not exactly right. We're not the first to introduce it. It's something that goes back to print typeset anyway. Well, you know.
Maybe we should define it first before we teach. Okay, so kerning is the act of adjusting the space between two letters. Another similar term is tracking or letter spacing, which applies to space between all of the letters in a word, sentence, or paragraph. Mm-hmm. So kerning is just between a pair of letters, so like two. Yeah,
and why would you do this, right? Well, there are certain letters like O, D, and C.
OCD.
OC. Oh, I get it. They don't take as much visual space because of the rounded quarters. Like an O, there's the spaces. Like an M is blocky, right? It's a complete block. It doesn't really need a whole lot of kerning unless it sits next to certain letters. M is pretty solid in the way it works. Letters like T, V, W, Y, A have a similar problem because they either have less space or they've got these kind of sharp angles, and that those when some of those are put together, they need a little bit more space. As well, certain capitals and lowercase letters need to be kerned as well.
So this kerning is done to make sure there aren't wide open spaces.
Wide open spaces.
In a word. So the eye can move through the word and headline or sentence with ease. It's pretty common practice in design and sounds like a pretty nitpicky process for designers, but have you ever met a designer, right? And it's an important step in design.
It is. I mean, if you've got words that have these big spaces, sometimes it physically makes you stop, because if it looks like a space, that word's supposed to go together, but it'll stop you from actually reading it. So today, there's a lot of fonts or type families that have programming built in to help counteract and preemptively fix the spacing between two pairs. Things like kerning tables. There's a lot of technical information with this stuff that you probably don't need to know. We'll probably get into it into maybe some future video. But in the printing word kern came from the French word carne. Or I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to speak French. It looks like carne to me, which is meat in Spanish. But it meant projecting angle or a quill of a pen. They would actually have to manually cut the metal blocks so that letters hung over and replaced the wide spaces. So in typesetting, there used to be, and this is where uppercase, lowercase came from, because your uppercase were in the uppercase, your lowercase were in the lowercase. There were blocks that had the protruding letters, almost like a stamp. Okay. But in metal. And so they would actually have to go in and physically cut and remove so that, like on a T, this little part was dangling over, so that when you push it up against another letter, there wasn't like wide spaces.
So not all fonts have received the attention to careful kerning that professional fonts have. Fonts that you may download from free sites may have some issues, as you haven't noticed. Kerning is mostly used on bigger text like headlines, taglines, or logos, but with a font that isn't adjusted, paragraphs of smaller text could need adjusting as well.
Which would be really annoying. I mean, it's fine when you're working on a headline, and we'll probably even cover some great tips for kerning for people out there. because if you change point size, if you go from like a 48 to a 24, the kerning could get messed up. So it can be pretty bad. But I mean, if you had to go into a body of paragraph and have to make sure that things read right, that would be a nightmare. I would know. But Google even made the news in 2014 when they kerned their logo by a pixel.
Finally.
Finally. I know, right?
Oh, man, that pixel's been driving me crazy.
Showing their commitment to perfection.
Or perfectionism.
Either way, really. That's... though improper kerning really drives visual designers nuts, bad kerning creates unreadable text and extremely hilarious situations. We submit the following evidence. So this one, it's not horrible, right?
No.
You've got the space between the ES and the Tate.
I just imagined that
space
was
between O and nulls.
I thought that was just like a Spanish one. It's like real estate.
Real estate profesionales. This one is pretty bad. I mean, ST, there's a huge space between those, and you're like, and you know, some of you are like,
I don't know. Do I stop, or is it telling me to?
I'm sorry, officer. It didn't say stop. It was an abbreviation for standard operation.
Yeah.
Now this is one that
could cause some problems.
Yes, this is one that definitely a lot of bad kerning examples will include really horrible words because the way they were kerned creates a bad word. We're not going to show some of those because you can look those up and you'll find them easily. This one, the Tropic Anna, she's my favorite.
Well, I actually got that same towel from the Tropic, but it said Tropic David.
I think it was supposed to say Tropicana.
No, maybe it was.
You got the personalized towel.
Yeah, apparently.
I like that.
Yeah.
This one, which I believe is supposed to be Slick's fast food, says sucks fast food, which is what I do when I eat fast food.
Maybe more accurate.
Yeah, maybe. This one's just horrible. This is a great example of what bad kerning looks like. There's weird little places touching. There's too much spaces. Please go to stop M on London Bridge.
Well, it is European.
It is European. This one, Kip for bums. But I believe that's for burn, so I may have been placing this in the wrong place.
You may have a problem.
For quite some time.
Ooh,
it helped. Breakfast butts.
That probably didn't sell very well.
Were they eagle butts? This one is Blitz, obviously, and this is a great example of where kerning typically goes wrong. You get a weird U when you have an LI.
That could be an issue with other words I can think of.
Very much so. This one, if you look at the multifunction or the mol ti fu nc xian.
Sounds Asian.
It is. It's a glass bowl for Asian. Bum Notice, one of the new hit TV shows on CBS.
That seems like it should probably be on cable. Or like.
And of course, you've got Ellie Goulding's new single, Bum.
Sounds all right. Well, all right. And now that you're in the know, you'll get the jokes.
Yeah. You'll understand the shirt.
The posters.
And as well, you can even test your skills in games for how well you do in kerning. So
that's kerning.
Yeah. What did you think? You have learned about kerning, and this stuff is hilarious. In fact, find some of your favorite examples of bad kerning and put those in the comments below.
Are you still awake?
It's Friday. Wake up!
If you are, then
come have fun. Come geek out.
You're as geeky as us, and you should push that subscribe button right there.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to our videos. It makes us super happy.
You can post your examples of bad kerning on our Facebook, or Twitter, or Instagram and send those to us.
Yeah, tag us in those.
Yeah.
And to end your week, because you want to watch more videos, and why not? Yeah. Here's a video for you and to enjoy.
In my first calligraphy class, I studied the work of Edward Johnston, who is called the father of modern calligraphy. He said something that I still remember, and this is the perfect time to share it with you. The task before us is simple: to make beautiful letters and to arrange them well.